Hey guys. Hey Stephanie. Hey Shadia, Casey. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys had a happy Halloween. I loved seeing your little girl, Stephanie, finally getting her into the costume. Oh my goodness, I can't believe Halloween is over. It's already gone. Halloween. Now we have to move into Christmas. I mean, not that that's a bad thing. I love Christmas, right? You've already pulled your Christmas toast down. Well, I'm doing fall, as you guys probably saw, since I missed the boat on Halloween. I mean, I have my studio decorations out, but that's not the same as my whole living room display. You guys are just on top of it. Already packed up your Halloween. If I had Halloween out, it would still be out today. I'm just saying, you guys are totally on it. Let me turn my phone on silent. I'm wearing my grandmama's, I guess I should button this top button, my grandmama's vintage denim shirt today. There, I know that chokes me. Gotta unbutton that. Anyway, it's really cute. It's got little embroidered flowers on it and the sweet little trim. And I matched it up with my vintage clock wrap. Hey! Hey, Sherry. Yeah, we need a little more time, right? It's just like boom, boom, boom. And then if we don't immediately jump on to Valentine's Day, it's gone, you know? I have to really be on top of it. Hey, Cheryl. I have to really be on top of Valentine's Day. I really love my Valentine's Day decorations. So I have to be super vigilant about putting them out in January so that I leave them up all through February and then I go into Easter in a typical year, of course. Who knows what this year will be like coming up. But no, I want to be on top of it. But I'm so in love with my new fall gold tinsel tree. I'm so happy. The cats love it. My cats love decorations. They get so excited. And Yuki has literally just been camping out. Last night was the first night he came upstairs to bed in a couple of nights because he's been guarding all the decorations because they all belong to him. And it's really funny. But yeah, they just love laying out in the midst of the decorations, and then I have all the orange mini lights, so it's like really warm and glowy. Hey, Bridget. Hey, girl, did you find out if I can do the Maker's Market with you? Let me know. I am going to try to get over there. I know I keep saying this like every week, but seriously, maybe I can just like, after I finish my sale on Wednesday, just hop in the car and go on over to Martina's. So I need to try to partner with you on the glass eyes so I can get that order together. So maybe I'd like to try to do it Wednesday. Oh, that's so great. That's so great. Your daughter is coming for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Our stepdaughter is coming home from college for Thanksgiving. A little bit nervous, just because we're so limited in having people. We don't have anybody in the house. But she's going to be super careful. She's going to wear a mask when she's in the house. And then we'll have our Thanksgiving out on the patio, which means I got to clean the patio again because I kind of neglected it. And the spiders have moved in again. And I hate spiders. We're in. Okay, thank you, Bridget. Yay. Thank you, Shadia. So yeah, I did a tour of yard haunts with my friends, Rick and Christy, yesterday. It was so much fun. So that video is up on my channel. If you haven't caught it yet, check it out. It's really fun. Hey, Roberta. Roberta went shopping for me. I should have brought the twins to show you. Well, I'll show them to you next week. I got the twins. They are twin dancing dollies. I'm probably going to reimagine them for Christmas. They need a little bit of love, but their outfits, they already have like the Christmas base. And then I'm probably going to bring them to the shows. Creative Madness. Hey, girl, I think you are one of my new friends. I'm going to bring them to the show. So I'm going to be doing the Makers Market. I think that's on the 14th of November. And you guys, I have Cindy backstage. She's waiting to come on. So I'm just going to catch up with you guys for a few minutes and then we will bring her in. So the 14th is the Makers Market. Is that going to be back at Valley Relics? Bridget, let me know. And then on the 28th, I'm going to be doing the Topanga Vintage Market. And for sure, for real this time. For real. And they're wanting me to do workshops there in person. So I might pull that together. If I'm going to pull it together, I got to do it soon. It's going to be a real modified version of my workshop because there is no power for hot glue. So I will have to, I think what I'm going to do is kind of make it like a Build-A-Bear workshop. It'll be like a Build-A-Doll workshop. So the cones will already be covered. So you'll get to pick your cone and I probably will have to attach the arms. So let's just say the bodies will be prepared. You get to pick your body, pick your head, choose your trim, and then with the trim we'll use craft glue, and then I will have a little clamp for people to clamp it while it's drying, and you can take the clamp, it's a little tiny little clothespin. That's what I think I'm going to do, and then maybe they'll get to choose their pet too. Wouldn't that be fun? So yeah, you're going on that day, Stephanie. Girl, then you better sign up for my workshop. It'll be so much fun. Hey, Christy. So that's that. I have cut back on my live sales this month because I want to be able to focus on these in-person markets and not be overwhelmed like I was last time. And then also I want to be able to do some drops in my shop so that I can make my dolls available to more people, because I feel like not everybody does live sales. There are a lot of people that aren't around for live sales. They don't have time for live sales. They just want to go and shop at 3 o'clock in the morning, right? And then everything will have a set price. So I want to do that for the holidays. But I am having pretty much 2 shows a week. It's not like I'm going away. I will have my Wednesdays here with Sarah on YouTube. And then I'm doing an Instagram sale once a week as well, most weeks. Oh my God, Pamela, 4 Black Widows. No. Oh, thank you, Creative Madness. What is your name? And then what else? Yeah, I got peppermint spray. So I got to go out there and spray down everything on the patio with peppermint spray, go buy some new plants because a lot of the plants didn't make it, and get the patio ready for Thanksgiving. So see, I got so much I got to do, and I don't want to get myself, you guys know I've been having these migraines, and I think they're stress and tension related, and like doing this all the time or doing this to craft is freaking out my neck. Lisa, okay, great. You have a portable electric block thingy? Really, Bridget? How many hours does that last, you think? Maybe I can do that. Because yeah, I bought a battery like a rechargeable one, but it doesn't last long, I don't think. But I thought I can use it long enough to glue heads on for people. What else? I have not shipped yet. I apologize. I did not feel well, as many of you know, and it was weekend before last and into the beginning of last week. So I didn't have Christy pick up for me. So I'm going to be shipping everything myself today from last week's sales. I'm still within the 10 days, but just barely. That would be for the a week ago, Saturday. So I'm going to be shipping that stuff out myself today. And then we'll be back on track going forward. Oh, I can't do Botox, Marsha. I just don't want to try that. I'm afraid to put that into my body. I'm afraid I'll have a weird reaction to it because my body is so sensitive. All right, guys. I think that's it for catching up. So let's bring Cindy in. I'm super excited. Here we go, Cindy. I'm about to bring you on camera. Yay!
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm good. I'm good. So tell us all about your picking adventure with Michael.
Oh my gosh, we had so much fun. We went to Duncannon, which is it's about, well, I guess it's about 40 minutes from him. It's about almost 2 hours for me because
Wow.
It's almost to Harrisburg. But he had never been to the old sled works, and so we went there, and it's an amazing place. I hadn't been there since before the pandemic, so I kind of had forgotten that it was so great, and it was really we had a great time, really fun time.
Yay. Did you find anything extra special that you want to share with us, like a favorite, or tell us about
I
it?
I did find a few things. They are actually downstairs in my office right now, so I didn't bring them up, but I'll be sharing them on
Okay.
Instagram, and
Yay.
I'll be sharing them in my Etsy shop. So
Great. Awesome. Well, you guys, this is Cindy with Timeless Treasure 77. If you know her, I'm sure you're excited to meet her in virtual real life here, see her, hear her voice. I just love this because we're all so much more than a screen name. And this way we get to know our buyers and our sellers on a deeper level, which is so much fun. Cindy and I did get to briefly meet when we did a little test of the studio. So I already feel like I know her, and I'm super excited to learn more about her, as I know you guys are as well. But I have all of her links posted here in the description of the video. So if you're not already following her on Instagram, give her a follow. She also has an Etsy shop, so I included that link as well. Check her out. And also she has an in-person booth at the Antique Mall locally, right?
yes.
So I listed that link as well. So if you're in her area, be sure to check out her booth. And yeah, so Cindy, tell us a little more about you. Like what do you like to do? What did you do for a living? Like, are you retired? Like, tell us all about you.
I am a retired teacher. I taught for about 26 years. My children were a little bit older when I did go to teaching. I subbed for quite a while, and then got finally a permanent job. And I taught high school English. I taught AP Language and AP Literature, which are classes that students can take in 11th and 12th grade and get college credit when they take the test at the end of the year. So that was pretty time consuming for me when I took those classes on, and that was the last 10 years that I taught. I was teaching both. I was teaching both AP Literature and AP Language. And it was a lot of work. But let me tell you, I used to spend my Saturday mornings from 6 a.m. until about 11 a.m. just reading papers.
Wow.
And critiquing, because that's what my students needed to do, a lot of writing. That's what the test was basically based on, their writing prompt. And I needed to do that. And when I decided to retire, I wasn't really ready to retire when I retired, but my husband had retired, and I just felt like I couldn't give all that time anymore. I mean, every Saturday morning was just, I mean, I loved it. I loved it for me. I mean, it was time consuming, but I loved it. And, but it was not fair to him. Our daughters were in California. We wanted to travel. And so my son's in Harrisburg. And so we wanted to travel. My husband's family, his son lives near us here, but his daughter's in Alabama. So we had a lot of traveling we needed to do. So,
yeah, sounds like it.
We did a lot. We did a lot the first few years until, of course, the pandemic. We did a train trip across country, which was wonderful. That was like the most fun we ever had. Yeah.
What was that like? Because I listened to, I use the Calm app now, and I listen to sleep stories, if any of you guys know about that. But they do train adventures, like, and I really love them. So I have all these fantasies about what is it like to travel on a train.
It's different. It takes a lot of getting used to. The first night I didn't sleep because you hear and feel every bump on the train. We had our little compartment, which are really cute, but very small, not much room.
Is it like a bunk bed, or what is it like?
Well, there's a pull down bed, and there's a bed on the bottom too. And then there's this tiny little bathroom where you do everything. I mean, the shower is like literally right there. The toilet's there. You close that up and take your shower right there. But it was fun. I mean, and you go in the dining room and meet so many different people. We met so many different people from all over, because it was like we were on the train for almost 4 days, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah. Because we started in Pennsylvania, we went to Chicago. You get it's called the Empire Builder, and it goes all up through Wisconsin and up to Glacier National Park. And then we crossed over into Portland, Oregon, and came down then. And we stayed for a while in Northern California then before we took I think it's the Coastal Starlight, comes down the coast. Oh, that was awesome too. Coming down the coast to Los Angeles. Yeah. Yes.
Well, that sounds like fun. And I had also been considering it, like if my husband gets to a point where it's not safe for him to fly with his lung condition, because those machines only go up so high, So I thought maybe trains could be another way for him to get from point A to point B.
Yeah, we actually wanted to do another one this year. I don't think we're going to, but next year we're definitely going to do some more. We'll probably go across again. When we came back, then we came up through the middle of the country. We came from San Diego then, and it kind of just winds up through the middle. There's just so much to see, even there's not a lot of stopping. Well, there's stopping, but you don't have a lot of time to get out really, unless you've booked your trip that you're going to stop certain places, which you can do that and then get back on the train as well. But we didn't really do that, which maybe we would do that the next time and stop some places. But we've done the driving trips. We've driven, I think, 4 times, all different ways, across the northern, across southern, it's up the middle. We like doing that too. We're probably going to do that again.
Well, this is exciting for me because you have kids here. That means one day I will get to meet you in real life when you come to California, and it's safe for me to do so.
Oh, yes. Oh, definitely, Amy. Yep.
Hey.
When I come to LA.
Yeah, you'll have to hit me up.
I will.
I mean, if nothing else, we can meet up somewhere outside and go to one of the outdoor flea markets.
Yeah. I don't think my girls are coming before Christmas, but I don't think we'll go. Maybe in the spring. I'm hopeful. I'm like crossing my fingers that we can in the spring, but I'm not sure about that. It's so up in the air. So
I know. I heard some, I don't know, a little hint of some kind of vaccine that they put in your nose. I don't know that's supposed to maybe be some kind of new game changer. I don't know. I keep the hope. I mean, anything is possible. Anything could pop up and be a game changer. So we just have to keep the faith.
Really trying to find things remedies for it. Yeah. Hopefully they can find something.
Yeah. Well, I love seeing that you still have your Halloween display up. Yay. I love it. It's so fun. So tell us about your passion for vintage.
Well, my passion for vintage started when I was a little girl and my grandparents had antiques. And my mother and father also had, their whole house was, I would say, thrifted. My father used to find things on this, like our neighbor down the street would put things out that he didn't want. My dad would go down and say, "Oh, can I have that table? Can I have that?" And he would refinish things and fix them if they needed fixing. And so our whole house was these things. And then I put this picture on Instagram of my great grandmother's writing desk.
I'm going to look it up right now. You guys, you got to check it out.
Because that I remember from my grandfather's house, and then my mother had it, and then it was gifted to me. And it's just, my middle name is Elizabeth, and I was named after her. And it's just very special to me. It's a beautiful piece. It was probably, I don't know if my father redid it, or if someone else had refinished it, but yeah, I have all my angel collection in the bottom there.
Oh my goodness.
If you swipe, then it shows the inside, because you open it up. You can open it up, and that's where it's the writing desk.
Let me get my phone off low power mode so that it doesn't time out like that, so we can see. So there's your angel collection, and then we're going to swipe and see it open up. Look at that.
It's got these.
So you said oh, I would love that. So you were telling me earlier that she used to keep letters in this desk that you enjoyed reading.
When I was a little girl, there were all these letters that and I don't remember now who they were written to, but it was in that scripted handwriting, and I would try to read them, and I really, really couldn't. I could read certain words, and I thought that those letters were left in the desk and that I would have them someday. But when I finally got the desk, they were not. They were not there, and no one in my family knew what really happened to them. So it's sad, but
Maybe they were private letters that she decided she didn't want anyone to have. And
well, she was gone by then. I mean, at that time when I was a little girl, she was no
when you
longer,
were
she
reading
had
them,
already
okay.
passed away, and my aunt lived in my grandfather's house. My aunt, who's, I do have that little diary of hers somewhere here.
Oh, yes.
My aunt was a librarian, and I remember this when I was a little girl too. I would go to the library and she would let me stamp the books. And I just
how
thought
fun.
that was like the biggest thrill of my life, was like stamping these books. And I believe she wanted me to become a librarian, but I became an English teacher, which was close enough.
Close enough.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know Misty has a pop-up sale that is going on at the same time, so I appreciate you guys being here, and I'm sure everyone else will catch us on the replay. So if you're watching the replay, thanks for joining. So you brought your aunt's diary. Were you going to share a little excerpt for us?
I did. She was, I don't know if any of you out there know anything about the Campfire Girls. Have ever heard of Campfire Girls? I believe they're still in existence, but I think they have a different name maybe. But they were founded in 1910 by a couple, and I can't remember the name of the couple, but they thought that girls should have the same outdoor experience as boys were having. So they created this campfire, and literally they would have meetings and sit around campfires and camp and do things like that. And
They
my
roast
aunt
marshmallows, I'm sure.
Yes, I think so. And my aunt was involved in that. She evidently was a Campfire Girl leader, and she has in her diary different things about campfire meeting as usual. We elected officers and planned an Indian program for next Thursday. Then I crocheted a little. It's interesting to me. I was telling this to Amy about how they didn't have TV. They didn't have any internet or anything like that to do. So in her diary, she talks a lot about how she makes her clothing. They like to hike. They would hike. In fact, this in the same, and this was from September 17th. They hiked to Farrensville, and that's probably, I want to say, from where she lived, 8 miles.
Wow.
So they hiked there and back in a day. And those are the kinds of things they did. So her diary is really interesting. She started working at the library when she was writing this too, because she was the only one in their family that had gone to college. And there's a local college, it's Lock Haven University, which I think it was called Lock Haven Normal School, and then Lock Haven State College, and then Lock Haven University. But when she went, and I believe she only went for 2 years, but she got something where she could be a teacher, because she was a substitute teacher. There's things in her diary about her being a substitute teacher. So that's interesting too, that I was a substitute teacher too. But
I think that would be fun because it's diverse and ever changing, different kids, different curriculums, right?
yeah, but she loved to read. I mean, there's things in here. She would read a novel in a day. She would say,
Wow.
Today I read such and such. And then the next day she's on to a different book and a different book. And I'm a big reader too. I love to read. I don't spend as much time as I thought I would doing it, but
when I do read, I enjoy it, but I've always had trouble focusing. Like, it has to really grab me. And when I get a book that really grabs me, then I really get lost in it and read. And as I've gotten older, I fall asleep. So it's crazy.
Well, you were asking me about how all of those things, from my parents and all of that. And my mom had a lot of, she was really into Christmas and had a lot of vintage Christmas, which I wish I had all of that. But again, I don't know what happened to some of that either. I believe some of it was put in the attic, and then much of it may have disintegrated there because it would be
Mm-hmm.
hot and cold up in that area. I do have some things of hers from Christmas. I have all of the Christmas balls, the ornaments. I have all
Oh,
of hers. Yeah, and some of them actually are from my grandparents too. So there's some Victorian things in that. And I love to decorate. But when I see the things like the different ceramic pieces and the like the Napco angels Christmas ones, she didn't have a lot of that. She had putz houses, and I have a few of those. And she had a few angels, but not. When I see now all the diversity of things that were out there in the 50s and 60s,
mm-hmm.
she didn't have a lot of that. And she loved to decorate, but it was more little things and things that she would make too. She would make things, and her neighbors
Mm-hmm.
would make things, and they'd give to each other. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
So, do you want to share a little of your collection with us?
Yes, I have some things here that I can share with you. Those of you who see me in the live chats know I love readers, and so I have a lot of where do you put those there? These little readers.
Oh,
And
that's
this
so
one,
cute.
I know. What I love is the graphics. This one is from 1928, and it's just the covers. I love the covers, first of all, and then the back covers are awesome too. That's hard to know where to put
I know,
that.
now you see what we go through.
Yeah, I do see now. And this one has the colored. Some of them don't have the colored pictures inside, but this one does have like the colored pictures inside. Here's a rooster. And I just love the graphics of them. Sometimes I just prop them open for different holidays. It can kind of prop them open to different things. This one has it was perfect for Halloween because on the
Oh,
front
I
they're
love
carving.
it.
Yeah, I think I got this from Misty actually. Yeah. So.
I'll tell you, those graphics stick with you for the rest of your life because this is bringing back one of my favorite readers. It was the Dick and Jane book, and it was pink, and I will never forget it. It was prettiest pink, and they had the prettiest blonde yellow hair, and yeah, it was magical.
See, mine was, this one I have. This one, it's Jim and Judy. And, I have a picture in here. This is, wait, can I do this on here? This is me.
Aww.
When I was a little girl, it's my brother down here playing with his football game. I was, of course, teaching school.
Oh, I love it.
There's my blackboard. And there I have the book. And this is actually that book.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that I used to play with. I played school with this reader. Somehow my mother got this. I don't know if from my aunt, but I love the pictures in this one.
Oh, yes.
So awesome, the graphics. It's just, when I look at these pictures, it's just my childhood. There's this little girl with the
little Yuki kitten.
Yeah, with the little Yuki. Yeah, this one's really cool. And there's the farm.
Aww.
Yeah, I love them. I just love them. I have way too many. This one's really old too. This one is, let's see, what year is this? Maybe this doesn't have actually this one doesn't have a year, but the pictures in this one are really magical too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I love the colors.
Yeah, there's the Winston readers. There were a whole set of those. There were different numbered ones of those. Yeah, the rabbit and this one just has a few illustrations. It doesn't have as many as some of the other ones. So that's just a few of those. I mean, I have an extensive old book collection. I just love old books, and they don't have to really be any popular classic book, although I do have some. Actually, I just pulled out my To Kill a Mockingbird, which it's a first edition, but it's like a 7th or 8th printing. So it's not, it's not a first edition worth thousands and thousands of dollars. But this is my favorite book of all time. I taught this book for many years, and it's always been my favorite. So I do have that. And I like these books that just have images on the front. This
Oh,
one's
yeah.
called Snow Image. I haven't read the book, but I just love.
The name is just like, I don't know.
Like
You guys, like little stuff like this, see how it's bringing moments of joy? Like it's making me smile so much. And that's what this show is about. It's like finding your joy, creating your joy.
I love this.
Yes, look at this. It just makes you smile.
Miss McDonald. She was, and these don't really, some of them have a few illustrations. This one actually doesn't. I'm not sure if Snow Image has, no, actually they don't really have, they sometimes will have one right in the front. Yeah, well, no, this is just, oh, this is Nathaniel Hawthorne wrote this book, and there's Nathaniel Hawthorne. So yeah, this one too, I just got this one recently too, and I just love it.
Oh, I love that.
I know. So I display these on my desk, on my writing desk, so that then you can.
And you switch them out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I do that. Yeah. I have. I'm a big fan of Louisa May Alcott as well. So I have a copy of Little Women. This one is fairly old. Not a first edition or anything. It's 1897, but it's got some really nice. It's got the black and white like illustrations throughout it. So it's really a nice book too. And I found when I went to an antique store years ago with my husband, I found Joe's Boys, which was also written by Louise May Alcott.
So is that like her children? Is it about her and her kids?
Yes. I just love the spine of this one.
That is pretty.
Yeah, it's really pretty. And I don't think this one has illustrations either. But yeah, I just love old books. I have a lot of old books.
Well, I never knew old books would make me smile so much. You
they do make me smile.
Turned me on to something new, old but new.
Just like looking at them and just imagining like the person who was reading that and what that meant to them, because I think whenever we read something, it becomes a part of us. The story becomes a part of us. It's part of our experience now. And that's what I always used to tell my students too. They didn't always like to hear it, but
I bet they think about it now later in life.
They probably do. When I taught, we used to do The Great Gatsby with my AP Literature class. And my first period class was, they would come in, okay, it's 20 after 8 in the morning. They're teenagers. They're like this. They put their heads down. So I figured out, you know what? I'm going to put some Charleston music on, and we're going to learn how to do the Charleston.
Oh my gosh.
My mother had taught me when I was a little girl. Her aunt had taught her the Charleston. So I taught my students the Charleston. And we used to do, and I had the boys who would actually come in, like after I taught them and we would play the music, they would come in and say, are we doing the Charleston today? Are we doing the Charleston? So it was fun.
That's wonderful.
It was fun. I did a lot of hands-on type things. My classes, when I sat in English class and all we did was sit there and you read and you taught, Now, my classes were more hands-on. We did a lot of things. My students would write scenarios about things they read in the book and make up their own like little plays with it. They would dress up in period clothing and do and reenact parts of the book. So it was good. I think
you learn and retain so much more when you are hands-on with that. Yeah. And working with kids, you don't necessarily realize the impact that you've made on lives. Like, the quietest child that you think you never touched, you may have profoundly changed their life and not even known it. And
I run into my students now, some of them, and it's funny because I used to make cupcakes. I used to make red velvet cupcakes. It was like
that's my
therapy
favorite
for me to make cupcakes in the evening, and I would bring them in for my AP kids because they were smaller classes. And I run into these kids now, and they're like, are you still making cupcakes? Don't you have a cupcake truck? Because they told me when I retired, I should have a cupcake truck and ride around our town and sell cupcakes. And I was like, no, I'm doing vintage now. I'm not doing cupcakes.
When it becomes a job, sometimes you lose the joy. Sometimes.
I enjoy doing it for them, though. They really like
Yeah,
it.
that's not like you're in a truck having to show up and do the business. So yeah, that's different. I know for me as a nanny, I found, because I was a nanny for over 20 years and a job that I took very seriously. But I find that when I'm in families where there's more than one child, there would always be the child that I was the closest to. I mean, I hate to say was my favorite, but that I connected with the most. And then there was the difficult child, that it was just like, oh my gosh, and you're trying to like reach them and you're trying to make a positive difference in their life. And you think, I never really connected, they never really took what I did to heart. And I have found in multiple cases, these kids come back to me all these years later. And it was that kid that was the difficult one that I thought I never really reached, that they come back and tell me how much of an impact I had on their life. And I'm like, really? Like, I thought you hated me, Like,
that's the same thing for me as teachers. That's what happens a lot of times. You'll have those students that were the worst students for you, and they come back and like, oh my gosh, I got so much out of your class. And when I went to college then, or when I did this job or something, I remember this or that. And you don't know what kind of an impact you'll have.
Yeah, it's so rewarding. And my grandmother, who I call Nanny, this is Grandmama's shirt that I'm wearing, but Nanny had her private Christian school that she taught. She would always say, I'm just a first grade teacher. But she had what were called life packs. They were these booklets, and it was like all in one, the reading and the work and everything. So you're like self-taught. But she took in all the kids that would get kicked out of the public schools. She would take them in to her private school and try and rehabilitate them, help them to succeed in life, take all the kids that no one else would take. And many of them ended up going on to become, working in the ministry or ministers themselves or teachers. Wow. And she made such a great impact on their life. And I guess it wasn't until I was almost in my 40s that I realized, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm doing the same thing that my nanny did, because I would always take on the difficult kids as a nanny that no one else could handle, that no one else wanted to deal with. And I would stick it out, and I would stay as long as I could, either the child, it was the parent, is usually the parents, that weren't cooperative.
Mm-hmm.
I had a way of being able to see what this family needed. Sometimes it's the kids, sometimes it's the parents, but I could intuitively see what needed to be done in that home. And I could intuitively figure out how to reach that child in a non-conventional way, And so I would do my work and I would stay as long as I could. But then there was a point a lot of times where it was like, okay, I've done all I can here. But I realized I'm carrying on my grandmother's work in a way like this is evidently ingrained in me. Mm-hmm. So I love finding out that you and I have that, common bond working with children, because we connect, but it's like, it's not just about vintage. There's some other reason why we are drawn to one another. We're kindred spirits for sure.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, let's see what we have here from our viewers. Yes, you just never know. You never know, Lisa.
You don't.
And then Trisha, yes, I know. I miss them. I miss my kids, but a lot of them stay in touch. So, but it's hard. It's like some of them, it's like, okay, you got to just let them go off into the world now, and you've done your part. And yeah, I miss them. Excuse me. So tell us how you happened upon live sales.
During the pandemic, it was Well, that's really when I started. I started my antique booth probably that September after the pandemic, because I was starting to watch YouTube videos about people thrifting and whatnot. I
Hmm.
was like, you know what? I've always wanted to do that. I might as well. And there, it just so happened an opening came for a booth at my local antique store while I was there. And I went, you know what? My husband was with me. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to do this. And he's like, really? Because I don't usually do stuff like that. I always have to think it through, and and I was like, nope, I'm just going to do it. And I'm like, yep, I'm going to take that little booth, and we're just going to run with it. And we did. And then, I was in the process then of watching all these YouTube videos that got me into Misty and her live sales, and then other live sales, and Michael, in the Instagram watching, because I hadn't been watching Instagram sales, and that got me to you. So yeah. And then I started after having some success, pretty much success with my booth, I'm like, you know what? I have all this stuff though too. I could sell on Etsy. I could do that. So then I started my Etsy shop. So
That's awesome.
it's been
So
fun. I love it.
yeah. So you started on YouTube, and then you kind of migrated into also watching us on Instagram.
Well, I started watching.
Well, yeah, the live sales, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And how is it going for you on Etsy? Do you find that you're making sales easily? How do you feel about when they create those ads and then they take a higher percentage? Like, how do you feel about the dynamics of Etsy?
I don't know if I have an opinion about it, because I'm doing it as business, but I'm doing it more as fun business. Do you know what I mean? It's not I have to. I'm not like looking to that I have these super stringent goals to meet. I don't really have that, so I really don't.
It works for you. It works for you.
Does.
Yeah.
It does work for me, and how I'm doing it and how I'm approaching it, it does work for me.
Yes. Yeah. I'm gonna, I started out on Etsy prior to the pandemic, where I was selling like my upcycled magazine clipping ornaments and patch hats and different things that I was doing before the dolls. And then I started the dolls on there originally. But I was mainly driving traffic from my Facebook, because I was Facebook based. I really couldn't figure out Instagram for the longest.
I still can't figure some of it out.
Yeah. So I felt like it was good. It was before they started doing the ads, where a lot of sellers are annoyed by the fact that they'll show your stuff without even you telling them to, and then they take 15% if someone clicks through.
Yeah, and I think you have to do it. Like, you can't. I don't think you can opt out of it either.
Yeah, I think you can. I have to get back into it, because I haven't really been that active on Etsy in a while. But I think there is a way to kind of minimize how much they do or which items they do. But I'm getting ready to, put some dolls back up in there since it's the holidays, because I want to be able to make my dolls available to, a broader audience. So I am going to list a few in there. But I mean, I really enjoyed Etsy, and I think you just have to be in the mindset of pricing it accordingly. Just, that they may take 15%. So make sure that you price it accordingly. That's my advice to anyone who.
I've gotten a lot of traffic for my Etsy store through Instagram.
Oh yeah, good.
Instagram posts and things. Yeah. So that helps. Yeah.
Good. It's fun. And then with your booth, does it just kind of run independently, because the booth is part of an antique mall and they admin everything, so you don't have to physically be there and sell?
No, I don't have to physically be there. I go once a week and reshuffle, and like I've got to go. I'm going to go probably tomorrow and take out my Halloween. What didn't sell, which I sold a lot of Halloween, but some things are still there. I'll go tomorrow, and then they advertise on Facebook, and I put some things on Facebook too, and Instagram for my booth. So.
And tell us the name of the antique mall for anyone who's local that wants to check it out.
It's called Rust and Shine in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. And my booth is called Timeless Treasures. It's on the second floor.
Awesome. So it would be fun. Anyone out there who is a YouTuber should maybe do a little video and show us Cindy's booth. That would be really fun.
I think Michael did. I think
Oh, he
Michael
did?
has one.
Okay.
Maybe,
I'll have to go
6 or 8
search
months ago.
for it. I'll
I
go
think-
search for it and put it in the description so you guys can
Yeah.
check it out.
Yeah. I know he's been there. I think he's been there a couple times, but I think he only filmed once, maybe. Our mall is not like, it's a small, well, it's a city, but it's a small city in Pennsylvania and right out in the middle and surrounded by a lot of rural areas.
Mhm.
It doesn't get a whole lot of foot traffic, not like Lewisburg, which is about 40 minutes from me. And there are 4 or 5 antique malls, the ones that Michael goes to a lot. That gets a lot of foot traffic there. It's a bigger area, more cities around that. So, but I could probably, I mean, Michael's talked to me about this too, about having a booth there, but that's another, like where I go now, it's 15 to 20 minutes. That would be 40 to 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I'm just happy. I'm happy
That's
with
far.
what it is.
Yeah. You've got your Etsy, you've got your booth,
Yeah.
and that's good.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah.
So I would love to hear from you about what core values are important to you right now in life or in general, and how you
Well,
implement them.
Honesty and integrity, obviously, being your authentic self in this world of such fakeness.
Right.
What should I say? Yeah, that's basically my idea of my core values are honesty, integrity, transparency.
It's difficult in this whole virtual world because everyone they want to put their best image forward, on social media, present how they want people to see them. But is that really who they are? I'm very real. I maybe share more than, people may want you to put on an act because you are putting yourself out there. But I feel that I have to be myself. So I'm going to be honest. I'm going to tell you, yeah, I'm having migraines. I'm going to tell you, my husband has lung disease. This is what we're dealing with, I think it's very important because when you're honest, I think people feel more comfortable connecting with you. When people feel that you're not authentic, that's just kind of like you don't trust. And I've found myself using the word integrity over and over, especially in the past few months. It's just like, because so many people don't operate with integrity, and not in business, just in business, but in life. It's like, where's your integrity? I don't feel this is, what am I trying to say? I don't feel it's ethical, certain behaviors,
Right.
And I just feel like we need to treat each other with kindness and grace and understanding, because people may be tired of hearing it. These are unprecedented times, but we're still dealing with them. Even if everybody is out, it seems like everybody's just out there living their life as normal, but that's kind of a facade, because this stuff still exists that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
So we need to kind of pause and just think before we judge.
True.
And try to look deeper into someone before making an assumption based on frustration and haste. And I think that it's completely appropriate to say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. Is this what's really happening here?
I agree.
Because we're all human beings, and life is not easy. Life is very challenging, and it is filled with hardships and sadness. But we have to support one another and help each other rise above those things. So we don't want to focus on the hardships and the sadness, but we can acknowledge them, and then let's try and find something positive to grasp onto so we can kind of weather that storm. So when I say find ways to create joy, just by Cindy bringing out those books, it made us all feel a little joy, right? So it can be something that's simple. But it's really important to be true to ourselves and present that truth to each other so that we can connect and build bonds and just lift each other up.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's see, Cheryl. I like what Cheryl says. Simplest way to say what is most important, be kind. That's right. So now is the time that I get to present you with a gift of my appreciation for you taking the time to come on my show today and share about yourself and your collections and your joy. And also,
I feel honored. I feel honored that you asked me.
Of course. And yeah, because I want us all to get to know each other on a deeper level and not just see these screen names. And I'm having our viewers, I'm having sellers, I'm having my own personal friends. I'm bringing all different kinds of people here to to add to, I don't know, our lives, right? So anyway, I appreciate you. I appreciate all the support that you've given me also. So I made this special doll just for you.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
And she's got a cute little vintage mouse. He's playing a saxophone. And she's got all this goodness on her head here.
I love her.
I love the print so much.
I love that too. Oh, I love that. Oh, it looks like one of those little ceramic girls that you can
get. Look at all of them. They're so cute. When I was making her today, it was so funny because this reminded me of a roll of toilet paper. It's her muff and her scarf, but I thought it reminds me of the toilet paper shortage last year. But anyway, little kitten in the mitten. So
I love her. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So I'll get her out to you. And
thank you.
You're welcome. 31 viewing and only 18 likes. Well, I know you guys are going to pick it up on the likes. Thank you, Cheryl. You guys will pick it up on the likes. We'll get more people watching the replay, and leave your comments. If you have any questions for Cindy, put them in the comments and we'll keep checking back. And hey, Kristen. Thank you. Thank you, Shadia. So Cindy, thank you so much for taking the time to do this and working with me while I was getting in the groove. We do have guests scheduled all the way through till the end of December now. So I'm super excited to really get the show in a groove and consistently drop my episodes. So thank you all so much for tuning in. And my next sale will be on Wednesday with Sarah, and Enamor Amy is joining us as our special guest on Wicked Good Vintage. So be sure to tune in. That will be at 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Eastern on Wednesday right here on my YouTube channel. And then I have a quad sale on Instagram on Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And we've got some ISN sellers and a guest seller as well. So that should be fun. A nice diverse bunch and collection of vintage. So thank you guys so much. Be sure to tune in to Vintage Rescue Squad tonight.
Yes, yes, yes.
And we will look forward to seeing you guys very soon. Cindy, have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to see your next display. Be sure to post some pictures on Instagram when you get your next.
I've been doing the paper twist dolls.
Oh, I want to see those.
Yes, I'll post them.
Yay. Maybe you can teach me and we can do a crafting video together sometime.
I burn my fingers so many times.
Oh gosh.
Hot glue guns and I are not friends.
Okay, well, I'll just look at the pictures. All right. Well, thank you so much. And you guys have a wonderful week. It's Monday. We're kicking it off. Get out there, create your joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.